I think the back seven of this defense is about to get a lot younger. Let's talk for a few minutes. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL World? How you doing, Division Rivals? This is Stephen Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel. Sports Channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, this is maybe the first or second time you've caught one of my videos. If you enjoyed today's content, if you can do me a huge solid here, guys, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to add you to the community. But in order to do that, guys, I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button. And then to my OG subscribers, hey guys, keep hitting that thumbs up button. Hey man, you're doing your thing, guys. It's getting out there. This channel's growing, it's spreading, and that's in large part due to you guys. All right, y'all, today's topic. I really and honestly do think that we're on the cusp of seeing the back seven of the defense get a lot younger. And I know it already kind of started at linebacker, right? I mean, you look at guys like Kaiser White, you look at guys like T.J. Edwards, you look at guys like Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley. I mean, we got some young dudes. We have some young dudes out there playing off-ball linebacker for us. So that back seven's already kind of, it's already started to happen. And yes, guys, I'm purposely leaving out the Sam linebacker spot because it's on the ball. I know it does have some responsibility at times dropping into coverage, but I'm not going to really call that too deeply into the cover, this principle of the back seven of the defense. But now I'm looking at this, and we just saw a couple of our veteran guys sign. And the Eagles really didn't show a lot of interest in bringing those guys back. And I'm not saying there wasn't any interest. I'm not saying that had they been out there during the summer, we wouldn't have circled back if we didn't like the depth we had. I still think all that stuff was in play, no doubt about it, guys. But we didn't prioritize it. And you got a guy like Rodney Mcleod who, hey, I'm glad Rodney Mcleod gets to continue out his career. I think he's a good dude. I think he's been a really good player for the Eagles. But Ronnie McLeod was 32 years old, coming off a couple of ACL injuries. He ends up signing with the Colts. It didn't look like the Eagles put a whole lot of effort into trying to bring him back, to be quite honest, guys. And then the news that kind of broke later last night, earlier today, Steven Nelson signed a 2-year, $10 million deal to play with the Houston Texans. Hey, congratulations to Steven Nelson, man. He took a 1-year deal here in Philadelphia, a little over $3 million, and turned it into 2 years on $10 million. So, I mean, he set out and achieved his goal from last year. He was a great stopgap measure for the Eagles, and he got paid for it, guys. I mean, I don't think it was the right thing for the Eagles to do. I mean, if we circled back and he was still available, that would be one thing. In the summertime, he's still out there. He hasn't found the right numbers. He wants to come back again for another year. I could have been okay with that, but I wouldn't want to spend $10 million on Steven Nelson over 2 years personally. All right, with that said, guys, we got to accomplish some stuff here in this draft and free agency period. And I want to start off by saying this. Just because I think we're going to spend a lot of draft capital on young guys in the secondary, I don't think that necessarily stops us from chasing guys like Tyrann Mathieu. I don't think it stops us from going after a cornerback like, Stephen Gilmore. There's plenty of guys still out there. I do think that we could still go out there and sign veteran guys, but I think we know that for the long term, they're going to go youth here. We're going to add some pieces. And I got to be honest, I absolutely love the safety draft. I love the depth of the safety class for 2022. The top 4 guys I've watched a lot of film on. And my top 4 are Kyle Hamilton, Jaequan Brisker, Lewis Cine, and then also Daxton Hill from Michigan. Those 4 guys, all of them are over 6 foot. They're all around 200 pounds or plus. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton's a big guy, 6'4", 220-ish. All these dudes have good length. You got guys like Kyle Hamilton and Lewis Cine, who those 2 guys are they're closing in nearly 80-inch wingspans. I want to say that Kyle Hamilton's around 79-inch wingspan. Lewis Cine was like 78-inch wingspan. We have some tremendous athletes. Lewis Cine and Daxton Hill putting up sub 4.4 40 times. This is a really, really good safety draft. And I got to be honest, the guy that I didn't even speak that much about in this whole thing, Jaequan Brisker. Boy, I came away loving his film. He's very fluid in his hips. I don't know what happened early on in Penn State, but he wasn't the same guy as he was this past year. But he looked like he recognized and understood coverage quite well this past year, and he's a fluid mover. He was definitely, in terms of his back pedal, flipping his hips, turning and running, he was the best out of these safeties I watched film on. I'm not saying he's the best safety overall. I'm just saying in that aspect of the game, guys, he was definitely the best I turned film on. I love this safety class. I just think that if you play your cards right, you are going to walk away with quality safety play in this draft class. And Eagles have plenty of ammunition to go get a guy that can be a contributor here. So I honestly think this back seven is poised to get a lot better. Past that, you got guys that go past those top four that I think can really play. Nick Cross and Smoke Monday. There's a lot of dudes out there in this draft class that can honestly play, and I'm not naming them all, guys. We'll be here forever. But we're going to walk away, I feel confident, with at least one safety, and I wouldn't be shocked if we don't draft 2 out of these 10 picks. I feel like the back 7 of the defense will be one of the focal points that we attack inside the 2022 NFL Draft. In addition to that, outside corner. I don't know that they're going to be in position to get Ahmad Gardner, guys. That's not what I'm saying here. So please don't mistake what I'm about to discuss. They brought in Ahmad Gardner. We know that they've been infatuated with Ahmad Gardner. He's this guy that's 6'2", 6'3", lengthy, rangy. He hasn't given up a touchdown his entire college career. Hasn't been credited with giving up one. A little handsy, a little grabby as most of these physical man press corners in college are, because you can get away with more. You're going to play to what the rule book allows you to do. And those guys, just like J.C. Horn last year, they tend to grab a little bit. Kaiir Elam has the same exact problem, guys. They tend to be a little handsy. With that said, that doesn't mean that it's going to carry on to the NFL. There'll be an adjustment period, and then we'll have to see how they react to the adjustment period. Like, can they still maintain their confidence in man press situations when you can't grab and hold as much as you could in college? With that said, it seems like the Eagles have a type here of who they're bringing in and who they're interviewing. Because outside of that, they went after Andrew Booth Jr. They brought him in to interview him. I shouldn't say went after him, but interviewed Andrew Booth Jr., who's another one of these guys. He's over 6 foot. A guy with some versatility between zone and man schemes. He's not quite as lanky, I should say, as an Ahmad Gardner is, but nonetheless, yeah, he's decent-sized corner. But more than anything, Ahmad Gardner and Andrew Booth Jr., what they do well is they come up and they play the football. They play the run. I think Gannon has a prototype of what he's looking for out there. And we don't know it's going to be those 2 guys, but I think you can kind of see that, okay, it seems like he wants a guy that's around 6 foot at least, and he wants a guy that can come down and play inside the box. He can come down and play short, what they call shallow zone. He can come down and, hit a guy and stick him at the line of scrimmage if it's something like a tunnel screen, something like that, right? Wide receiver bubble, those kind of things. I think that's what he wants, and then he wants a guy with more foot speed than Steven Nelson had. And that was really my hesitation with bringing Steven Nelson back is I felt like we did a lot of things with our safeties to cover up the deficiencies in Steven Nelson's game. Guys, I'm not going to sit here and take shots at Steven Nelson because I thought he was a pretty good corner for the Eagles. But with that said, I think there's a reason why they didn't want to go in at 2 years, $10 million. And it has a lot to do with his foot speed. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts. What do you think? And don't forget, if you want to know some things about these prospects, I have the offensive draft guide completed. Defensive draft guide I'm currently working on. Guys, it's $2.99 if you want to get accustomed to these offensive players. 98 pages worth of detailed breakdowns. I cover everything such as yards per route run. How productive are they? I mean, yards per route run breaks it down. Like, it's great to say that this guy had, a 1,000-yard receiving season. How many routes was he running? How many times was that team on the field? How important, what percentage was he of the offense? We could talk about things like early production of wide receivers, right? The theory is that the earlier a receiver produces, preferably under the age of 20, the better that translates to the NFL. It's about an 85% success rate. About 85% of what they call the successful receivers in the league had produced by the time they were 20. But I will warn you, we have 2 guys right now that didn't do that. And there are better players. And Devontae Smith and then Quez Watkins. So we do have a couple exceptions to the rule already on the roster. But this is the type of information that's in that draft guide, guys. So $2.99, it's all linked down below. I appreciate y'all's time and attention, and I'll see you guys on the next video.